Now, on the cover of the book, it says clearly, by IBM's #1 marketer and lead generator. So you were named that for 2 years in a row. IBM, wow. How'd you do that?
So what I did was I just took all the past experience. I didn't do anything new. Nothing new at all. There's nothing new under the sun, right? So I took all the campaigns that we've had successful before, honed them down, put the marketing message in there, used it, and it drove. We consistently, with IBM, business to business, got a 23% response rate. Consistently.
23%
Consistent. Sometimes 17%, sometimes 30%. Over time,
No, Matt, I'm sorry. I actually know you for a couple of months now. I trust you, but how can I trust you?
Yeah.
23% success rate. Let's jump right in. Okay, in the book you talk about, and again, I'm repeating the name of the book, How to Generate Leads and Grow Your Business Now. Matthew Minarik. Minarik. There you go.
There we go.
Thank you. Boom. Now, we go through the 5 critical areas of marketing. I'm going to read them, and then we're going to start, and Matt is going to start dissecting them.
If you're at home, take notes on this. This is so important.
Okay, so here goes. Number 1, the target audience. How do you define your target audience? I'm going to read them, and then we're going to go back. Okay. Number 2, okay, the offer. How do you determine what you should offer? Number 3, creative development. How important is this to the effectiveness of a campaign? Okay? And how do you foster creativity in the workplace? How do you differentiate between good and great ideas and lousy ideas? That's number 3. Number 4 is timing. Are there certain times that your campaign will stick better and resonate and bring in more sales? And number 5 is follow through. I know you have a story to share about this, Matt. We'll get to it, but let's sum it up. A truly effective marketing campaign takes 5 factors into account. Again, target audience, the offer, creative development, timing, and follow-through. So now, let's go back to the beginning. Target audience.
The target audience. What do you think, Yitzchok, is the success rate? I mean, how important is the target audience? This is scientifically shown, it's up to 75% of the success of a campaign. I mean, if we're selling lawnmowers, we're not going to target grandmothers walking in a mall. Right? We're going to target the people who are going to buy lawnmowers.
Right.
You know, we're going to target the right demographic area. And there's many things about psychographics, which I'm sure you know about. There's things called prism clusters. Everybody's booked into about 64 prism clusters. And they have these great descriptions of them. They have, for out in the country, they have shotguns and pickup trucks, and they have blue bloods, and they have up-and-comers, and they have educational or whatever. All 64 of these. And they go into very great detail. So if you can really hone down who is best for your product, you can get a very, very targeted list and get to that exact right person. We know what radio stations are listening to, like yours, right? We know what social media they're on. We know what type of cars they're buying. Target has done such a great job in terms of what they do. They know who is pregnant before the people know who's pregnant. It's a phenomenal study of understanding your customer that truly goes very, very deep. There's billions spent just on this. You know, we don't talk about it here, but the RFM is so critically important. Recency, frequency, monetary value, it's all about the target audience. And, you know, it's not just about who you're going after, but who you already have, too, who you should go back to. The target audience, up to 75% of the success of your campaign is about the target audience.
Now we go to the second item in terms of the marketing musts, and that is the offer. How do you determine what you should offer?
Let's define what the offer is first, okay? The offer is defined as what they give for what they get, all right? If I'm going to give you a $5 coupon, what are you going to do? You got to respond. Well, if you download something, I got to give my email address, you know, at a landing page. It's so defined as what they give for what they get. There's 3 stages of the offer. The introductory offer, you got the answer the question offer, and then you got the make the deal offer, okay? And too many times people just try and go right to the make the deal. They don't try and establish a relationship with them at all. It's very important to understand where you are in the relationship with somebody. If you come in for the first time, if the boy in high school wants to date the girl, he's going to go and sit in the front porch. He's going to bring a box of candy and do whatever. He's not going to ask her to marry her on the first date, right? And so it's the same thing. We're going to get to this in a minute. We've got to build trust, and we'll talk about trust in a few minutes. But the offer's worth up to, and now the math isn't going to be right, but it's up to 50% of the success of a campaign. So we got the list up to 75%. We got the offer up to 50%, okay? And so the offer is the second most important item. And you have to work on this offer. And what is the offer? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to respond? Do you want them to buy? Do you want them to give information? What do you want them to do? Okay, so the offer is very tricky in terms of, and we're going to get into testing on this as well.
Okay.
But you have to make sure that offer is right, because as you say, it could be the right audience, but if the offer is no good, they're just going to throw it away.
Now we move to the creative development. How to come up with great creativity in the workplace. How to differentiate between good and great ideas. What's your tips on that?
So I have to apologize right up front here with you, Yitzchok.
Ready.
Okay, because you run a great creative agency here.
Thank you.
They're really great.
Thank you.
Creative,
that's a big compliment.
It really is. And your book is phenomenal, by the way.
Thank
so what's
you.
the bottom line?
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but the creative is only worth about 25% of the success of a campaign. I know. I'm so sorry. Now, here's the interesting thing, though. By changing the creative, I changed response 100%. I'll give an example one time.
Wow.
Yeah. One time, I did a direct mail campaign. This is for a college. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to invite high school girls to stay a night and a day over at the college. Okay? This was a college in Ohio. It was a private Catholic college. And so they said, we're going to mail out this postcard. I said, why don't we do this? Why don't we test half of it with a postcard, and the other half, we're going to put the postcard into an envelope and put a letter with it, with a personal note from the president, whoever the nun was.
Right.
So the postcard got a 2% response. The letter, 4% response. 100% difference in response. But it's the same message. All we did was we took the postcard and we put a letter in an envelope. No other difference than that.
Wow.
So that's a creative. The offer was the same. The list was the same. Just a creative difference, though, 100% difference in response.
It's amazing and we're going to talk a lot more. In fact, that's the next point over here. We're going to get to timing later on in the interview. We're going to get to testing, but it's unreal. In fact, I save here. I have a drawer full of samples from the banks, and they're sending all types of offers, and it's amazing the difference, the size of the envelope, the stiffness. Some of them add a little board in there.
The feeling matters.
It's all the different variables make a difference in
do.
the success rate, and you could really bump it with little tweaks based on testing.
There's 1,000 details in doing good direct marketing. Whether it's direct mail or any, even telemarketing, there's 1,000 details that have to all be right.
Timing. Are there certain times that are, that are more likely to bring a better response in terms of sales?
There are. Let me talk about two things in this. Timing. We talked about the list being up to 75%, the offer up to 50%, the creative 25%. Timing floats. Timing can be more important than the offer. It can be more important than the creative. It's never more important than the list, though. Okay? So, in other words, if you were to be in Washington, D.C. the day of the inauguration and you have T-shirts, you're selling them, I was at the inauguration. They're good that day. 2 months later, they're no good.
Right.
Okay? So, but timing is a huge issue. There's a Dr. Olderite out of Kellogg University in Chicago. He did a phenomenal study on timing. And he talks about the best times of the day to call, the best times of the day not to call. What do you think the best time of the day is to call, Yitzchok? If you're a salesperson,
So it depends for what? B2B, B2C?
Yeah, B2B.
In a B2B, best time to call.
You're trying to get an appointment. You're trying to get into the person.
Get an appointment. Okay. To an executive. 8:15.
You got it. 8:15 a.m. Also 4 to 5 p.m.
Right.
And the worst time is when?
Oh, smack in the middle of the day.
Right after lunch.
Right.
The worst time.
Yeah.
The best day of the week is Thursday. Best day of the week is Thursday. The worst day is Monday. Monday and
Right,
Tuesday.
Monday
Yeah.
is-
Yeah. So there are all kinds, and there's many articles, many aspects of timing that are all through there. And then when we do offers, you don't want to mail something or have an offer that crosses over the calendar, because you want to be within the same month. Right. And then I tested, how long should we make it for people to respond? Should it be as a matter of tight or give them a window? And I'm sure you know the answer.
Well, it depends which type of campaign. Because, okay, in general, tight for the offer, but certain, I know in terms of, let's say, raffles, nonprofits, and there are many nonprofits, we've actually tested where a window works better because you could, but in terms of an offer to direct response to get them, bam, 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 now.
And remember, this book is written about business to business.
Business, right. So my mind is also, I know that there are a lot of nonprofits in the audience.
Right.
So therefore my mind is also keeping
Yeah,
that
sure,
up.
sure.
So, but yes, there's a difference between
48
nonprofit
hours,
and
48 hours to respond.
Yeah, that's
and that
right.
works the best. Yeah. Okay, what's next?
follow through. I know you have a story to share about this. Let's.
I never had follow through as my number 5. I always had list offer creative timing. I taught that for years. In fact, I teach the Direct Marketing Association.
the DMA.
The DMA. I
Nice.
was an instructor for a few years. And so, I always had list offer creative timing. That's great, okay? In fact, when I was taught initially, the timing wasn't even part of the equation. I added that one in. So I was doing IBM. And I remember this one business partner I had in Columbus, Ohio. We did a campaign, and they got that 23% response, okay? And I had said, great, I got to go around the Midwest and see all my other business partners. So I went to Chicago, then I went over to Minneapolis and St. Louis and back around, and I come back, meet him 2 weeks later in Columbus, Ohio, and I go, Joe, how are you? He goes, great, man, the campaign was fantastic. I said, he goes, here, look at all these leads, that's great. How are they doing? Oh, we haven't started yet. Oh, it's like,
That reminds me about these people that go to trade shows.
Yeah.
All the time. People ask, are trade shows valuable? Yes, but if you're not going to follow up with the leads, then play lottery.
that's right. It really is true.
Don't go.
We have a whole
Don't go.
we have a whole thing on trade show marketing, and it's got to happen within the first 24 hours.
And that's a great point. Within 24 hours, and people don't realize how valuable trade shows are. You get to press the flesh, you get to meet them directly. But if you don't do follow up, forget it.
Let me tell you about one trade show
Yeah.
story my partner had. He ran his trade show, did all the marketing for it for this one company, and they gave a big giveaway, and I forget what the giveaway was, but they had to put down the room number.
Okay.
So when they got back to the room, all these people had a bottle of wine with chocolate and fruit sitting there in their room, and they were blown away. Timing and the audience. Right. It was great. Yeah.
So let's sum it up. A truly effective marketing campaign takes 5 factors into account: target audience, the offer, creative development, timing, and follow through.
Now, I didn't tell you where follow through falls in the percent, did I?
Now wait a second. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Right.
What was that?
I said I didn't tell you where follow through fits
Yes,
in the equation.
let's continue
What's the
on that.
percent of the?
Right.
How about? I put it back up with the list. If you
Well,
don't,
75%.
it's put this way.
Yeah,
it's
it's true.
either on
Maybe
or
a little
off.
bit more.
It's either on or off. Your campaign's
Yeah.
either going to be a success or a failure.
Yeah.
It's as equal to me as the list. If you don't follow up, as you say, play the lottery. What good is it? Just throw money away.
I love the honor of interviewing C-level executives and sharing their great advice and perspective on Mind Your Business. I'd love to get your feedback. Post it in the comments below and subscribe. You'll never miss an edition of Mind Your Business.